Of the day is hypocrisy. We're talking about 13 things you should never tolerate in life, and one of those things is going to be hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is when someone claims to have moral standards or beliefs to which their own behavior does not match or conform. Hypocrisy is also criticizing somebody for doing something that you do. Saying of the day, how I think controls how I feel, and how I feel controls my actions. Remember this formula. If you're depressed often, your thinking is negative or toxic. Look, man, formulas are important. If you try to bake a cake, there's a formula or a recipe for it, right? There's a lot of people who get depressed. I'm gonna go and smoke. That's not a formula. That's a Band-Aid. I feel depressed. I'm gonna go drink. That's not a formula. That's a Band-Aid. A formula is this: how I think controls how I feel, and how I feel controls my actions. So, if you want to control how you feel, control how you think. If you want to perform better, if you want better actions, and if you want to feel better, you need to control how you think. This talk is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional guidance, advice, treatment, or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, substance use or abuse, or suicidal thoughts, dial 988. 988 is available 24/7 nationwide and staffed by trained crisis counselors who are just a text or a call away. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. First one, toxicity. Do not put up with anything toxic in your life. You don't deserve to have toxicity in your life. Toxicity can take many forms and can have an emotional, physical, or mental effect on you, and could be a person who constantly puts you down. It could be a bad habit like drinking. Toxicity can be drugs in your life. A bad habit like drinking too much or drugs, or a stressful work environment. Just having a stressful work environment is enough toxicity to have in your life to make you miserable. Whatever form toxicity takes on in your life, one thing is certain: if left unchecked, it will slowly destroy all aspects of who you are. And for that exact reason, you should never tolerate it. You go through life thinking negatively, that's like a snowball effect. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. If you go through life surrounding yourself with toxic people and being a toxic person, you're thinking negatively, you're acting out negatively. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. Dishonesty. I don't care if it, look, man, even if the truth is going to hurt me, I'd rather you tell me the truth than lie, to save my feelings.
So ignorance is not bliss.
It sounds good.
It sounds good.
It sounds good, but everything that sounds good ain't good. And you can go do that. Just be real with me so I can go do my thing and take care of me. That's all. It ain't no hard feelings. I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not going to put my hands on you, because you can't make nobody be with you. And if you don't want to be with me, just let me know. Dishonesty. Dishonesty is one of the most destructive forces in our society, and it should never be tolerated in any extent. It's a form of betrayal, which is the breaking or violation of trust. If you tolerate dishonesty, then you are allowing yourself to be deceived by others, and you're letting someone break their word and promise without consequences for their actions. People who lie often feel justified in doing so because they think they're only telling white lies or bending the truth just enough so no one gets hurt, even though this usually isn't the case. You get around your girl, you put your phone, turn it over, and put it face down. Dishonesty. But even if those little fibs seem harmless, they can have huge repercussions over time. Because once you find out somebody has lied, it's hard to trust that person after that. In most times, cases, relationships never go back to where they were. It's going to evolve into something else. And it's not going to be for the better. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. Number 3, naysayers. These are people who are always telling you can't accomplish something. These are people who are always going to tell you can't do it. These are people who are going to say, well, it didn't work out for me. I went through it and it didn't work for me. It probably ain't going to work for you neither. Well, I'm not you. Keep naysayers out of your business and keep them out of your life. Naysayers want nothing more than for you to fail. Naysayers want nothing more than for you to fail. It could be your relative. It could be your mama. Your mama might have a deep-seated need to feel needed. And even though you're a grown man, she still want to have some say-so in your life. I told you it's rough out there in the world, baby. I told you, go ahead. I'm cooking something right now. Go ahead and sit down. They don't want you to get away from them. It's hard enough pursuing your dreams and goals as it is. So choose wisely when it comes to who you confide in or share your goals with. Be wary of sharing your goals with those who habitually doubt, criticize, and put others down. They'll just bring negativity into your life. And if someone doesn't support what you're doing, then they probably won't be happy for you when things go right either. The best thing you can do is surround yourself with people who will celebrate your successes as much as they applaud your efforts. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. Number 4, hypocrisy. We said up here that hypocrisy is when someone claims to have moral standards or beliefs to which their own behavior does not conform. Also, hypocrisy is a double standard, as in the case of a person who criticizes someone else for doing something that they do themselves. Hypocrisy is a trait that strikes at the heart of your values, and it should not be entertained under no circumstances. It's dishonest and shows that the person doesn't really care about their own standards. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. Number 5, excuses. An excuse is often thought of as a reason, but it's not the same thing. Excuses and reasons are not the same thing. Don't come to work. You want to give the person a reason? You call your boss. They pick up the phone. Hey, I'm sorry. I got up late. I went to bed late, and I'm still kind of tired. I just took my shower. I'm dressed. I'm just letting you know I'm on my way in there right now, and I'm sorry. It won't happen again. That's a reason. An excuse? Hey, this is Will. Hey, I'm running late. My alarm didn't go off. Okay, I called you on your phone. Yeah, well, my ringer was off. It wasn't my fault. I'm on my way in there. There's a difference between excuses. There's a difference between reasons. Excuses are used to justify your mistakes. A reason is you're telling the person why you didn't achieve what you were supposed to achieve. This is the reason, and I'm sorry. An excuse is, it wasn't my fault. Excuses. So we had number 5, excuses. An excuse is often thought of as a reason, but it's not the same thing. Reasons give an account of something that has happened. Excuses give an account of why it should be accepted. It's important to recognize excuses for what they are, a way of avoiding taking responsibility, and that's what they are. Those who make excuses are trying to tell themselves that their own bad choices aren't so bad after all. And when people start believing their own lies, things go downhill from there. The best way to avoid excuses is to hold yourself and others accountable. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. Number 6, time wasters. People who waste your time, because your time is the most valuable thing you got in your life. You can't reclaim it. Forget that bull crap, man. People talking about, I reclaim my time back. Oh, you got it. God can reclaim some time. Because I know in life, once some time spent, I can't go back to yesterday. I can't go back to the first grade. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be reborn. How you gonna reclaim time? You can't save time, pause time, and you can't give time away. All you got when it comes to time is right now, and you'll be a fool to let somebody destroy your right now, take your right now. A time waster is someone who doesn't respect your time. They flake on plans. Y'all got something planned to do, and they never come through. A time waster is someone who doesn't respect your time. They flake on plans, take up your days with drama, or ask you to do things for them all the time and never return the favor. Every second spent with a time waster is a second you can't spend doing something else. You never really know when a time waster will pop up in your life, but you don't have to put up with such people. Set boundaries and stick to them. And if a time waster wants something from you, ask yourself if it's worth it before agreeing or giving in to their request. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7, and the final one, number 7, self-condemnation. That is you putting yourself down, having negative self-talk, how we communicate with ourselves. Because remember what we said up here, how I think controls how I feel, and how I feel controls my actions. That's why this is so important. Self-condemnation. You should never use the word against yourself. It's bad enough using the word against another person. Even if you think it, you shouldn't say it out of your mouth. But let alone saying stuff out of your mouth about yourself or thinking negative things about yourself. It's more, what you say is more important than somebody else saying something bad about you. Somebody else can call you a fool. You can accept that if you want. That's up to you. You have a choice. You don't have to believe what another person say. But if you say you a fool, your mind subconsciously is going to accept that as fact or as truth. When we think about ourselves, the words that come out of our mouth have an enormous impact. Words tend to form into beliefs, which set the stage for action. Remember, how I think controls how I feel, and how I feel controls my actions. Sets the stage for action. And that's why your self-talk shapes you, affecting your attitude and your reactions. If you constantly berate yourself with negative language, your brain will begin to accept these messages as fact, even if they aren't. And this can lead to feelings of low self-esteem, which in turn can lead to anxiety and even depression. Choose your words wisely when it comes to yourself, and remember that it's okay not to be perfect, because nobody is. So we said 13 things, and we're just going through 1 through 7 today. We're going to do 8 through 13 tomorrow. So we said 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 1 through 7. We said number 1 was toxicity. That never accept that in your life. Number 2 was dishonesty, not to accept in your life. Number 3, naysayers. Keep naysayers out of your life. Keep hypocrisy out of your life. Keep excuses out of your life. Time wasters and self-condemnation out of your life.
In my time looking job, I got a job for five times. And every time, the last time that I go, the individual said to me, say, why you keep coming? I said, because they never tell me. Say, you won't hire me. You just say you have any job at the same time. Mm-hmm. And the 6th time that I go, about 2 days after, she called me and gave me the job. And at that time, but I believe what was going on, somebody was telling the lady that I wasn't a good worker, and I never knew.
Okay.
So I was determined, because I have a belief in myself, said, I didn't get this job.
Okay. Luke 17, I looked it up this morning just to refresh myself with it so I could talk about it, where Jesus came across 10 lepers. For those of y'all who are older and remember the 80s, when AIDS first hit the scene, right? People didn't want to be around people with AIDS. Remember that? You didn't want to touch them. You didn't want them touching you. You didn't want to work next to people who had AIDS, because there was a lot of ignorance out there about it, and people thought just them coughing you can get it. You know, so we treated a lot of AIDS people like lepers. And that's how lepers were treated back then. People wouldn't touch them. So they were ostracized in the communities. So these 10 lepers, they stood at a distance from, this is what the Bible says. Jesus acknowledged them, and they asked him to heal them, 10 of them. And he healed them, and they ran off, and only 1 came back. He healed 10, and only 1 came back and thanked him, and fell on his face and gave thanks to God for healing him. And I'm guilty of it, man. I'll be praying for something and I'll get it. And I'll be so excited that I got it that I'll just be celebrating. And maybe a day or 2 later, oh my God, thank you, God. I'm sorry. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for giving me that blessing. I'm trying to get better. I need to get better. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 8 through 13. And number 8 is boredom. Don't tolerate boredom in your life. Because you know why you get bored? Because you don't have enough variety. You've been doing the same stuff. Living a mechanical life. Boredom comes from mechanical lives. You're hanging around the same people, doing the same things, going to the same places, and you wonder why you're bored. You got to have some variety in your life, man. Boredom. If you find yourself bored, there's a good chance that something deeper is going on. Boredom is often a sign of stagnation and lack of growth. If you're doing the same, look, man, I know some people, man, have been the same people when we were 15. They're the same person today. There are some people who, you know, man, 10 years can pass by, and when you see them again, they on the same page they were on the last time you saw them, because they in a stagnant position. They're spinning their wheels and they're not growing in life. There's some people like that. There's some people I've known all my life, and they're the same person they always been at 40 or 50 or 60. There's some adults I've known in my life who I've grown up knowing, and they the same mean, nasty person they was when I was a kid. No growth. They're still stagnant. Two things that should never be tolerated in life: stagnation and a lack of growth, because we're always evolving. Life is too short for inactivity and staying in your comfort zone. Life is too short for inactivity and staying in your comfort zone. And the only way to get out of a rut or let go of negative habits is to challenge yourself with new experiences. You have to challenge yourself with new experiences. You're bored, do something you ain't never done before. It's important not only for personal growth, but also for the health of your relationships and others. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 8 through 13. Number 9, negativity. Never tolerate negativity in your life. Negative ideas and images are everywhere. We see them on the internet, we watch them on TV, and even hear them in songs. It's easy to get dragged down by negativity, so don't tolerate it. Instead of listening to other people's negative experiences and consuming media that reinforces a negative point of view, turn to something positive. Read a book or follow a positive podcast about overcoming adversity. Listen to music that inspires rather than discourages, and spend time with positive people who will help lift you up. Man, y'all better avoid negative people, and you better learn how to cut them out your life. They are going to eat your life up. They are going to deteriorate your life. Don't you know, man? You can break away from some people and start doing some new things and start growing and start thinking differently. And you, 2 years later, 20,000 in the bank, saved, a car now, a house, your own place now. And you say, man, I'm solid. I'm ready to get around my old friends. And you can lose it in less than 6 months, all of it. Lose all of it in less than 6 months by going around them same people. 13 things that you should never tolerate in life, 8 through 13. Number 10, living life without integrity. If you live in a life without integrity, man, it's just a fast slide downhill, bro. Life is not about getting over on other people, man. Because when you think you're getting over on other people, you're really getting over on yourself. Because there's something called the law of balance. And what the law of balance says is that whatever energy you send out, that energy is coming back. Even if people don't know what you did. Even if nobody saw what you did, you think you got away with it. Whatever energy you send out and you think your fingerprints ain't on it, it's coming back to holler at you. Life with integrity says that even though somebody got a wallet right here and ain't nobody around, I can basically just take this money out this wallet and then turn it in and say, hey, it wasn't no money in it when I found it. They ain't gonna know, and they ain't gonna think I took it anyway. Who gonna think Will took the money? I'm gonna know. And that energy still gonna be out there. But I serve a mighty and powerful God, man. He see everything. And if I take that money and stick it in my pocket, it ain't worth what's gonna come from behind that. Driving a wedge between God and me. I'm gonna keep my soul. My soul ain't for sale. That's what integrity is, man. You can steal it and get away with it. But you ain't got away with it up here. Living without integrity. Living without integrity means living a life that is not true to who you are. So many of my peers, and me included, thought we was going to get through life selling dope to people. Thought we was going to really get rich. We thought good things was going to happen from destroying other people's lives. You can't do something that's not you and expect to be successful. I'm telling you. So you can try to blend in with a group of people who you think are your people, but if that's not you, it ain't gonna work. Living without integrity means living a life that is not true to who you are and what you stand for. Like wearing clothes that don't fit. It just doesn't feel comfortable. Living without integrity drains your energy, fosters feelings of guilt, and destroys your self-esteem. Integrity is a choice you make every single day. It's not something you do because you want to impress somebody. You live that every single day. You be authentic. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. And what you see is what you're going to get. And most people going to respect that. Because most people don't expect you to be perfect anyway because they not perfect. People respect people who are authentic, man. Living without integrity drains your energy, fosters feelings of guilt, and destroys your self-esteem. Integrity is a choice you make every day, whether it's following through on a promise or standing up against injustice. Integrity is demonstrated in all aspects of life. Integrity is all about making choices that reflect who we are rather than who others want us to be or how we want them to see us. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 8 through 13. Number 11, gossip. It's easy to get caught up in the tea and rumors that fly around our social circles, but you should never tolerate it. Gossiping is unkind, it's hurtful, and usually untrue, and people who engage in it often try to make themselves look better by tearing down other people that are around them. Don't let anyone drag you down to this behavior. Gossip is a low form of communication, bro. One of the lowest forms. And all of the people, I don't see how people don't notice this stuff though. All of the people who made a living or got rich gossiping or running people's business in the ground or making fun of people or dogging people out, all of them had bad ends. 12, ingratitude. We said up here, ingratitude is forgetfulness of or poor return for kindness received. So ingratitude, there is no way around it. Gratitude is something people often fail to practice, and in fact, some argue that a lack of gratitude has become so commonplace that we come to expect it as a norm, meaning that when somebody does something for us nowadays and they don't expect something from it, we assume they up to something. Somebody give you some money. What's this for? It ain't my birthday. Yeah, that's the kind of society we live in. Now, what you want from? What you want? What you trying to get? Oh man, people jaded, man. Yeah, that's the society we live in. We're surprised when someone does something kind without expecting anything in return. And not only do we expect others to be ungrateful, but sometimes they actually tolerate this behavior in themselves. Or even worse, they try to conceal their own ingratitude by pretending that they are too busy, they're too tired, or too stressed out to express their appreciation for what someone has done for them. You are never too tired to say thank you, but never too busy to write a little note, thank you, and stick it in their mailbox or their windshield or something, or a phone text message. Ingratitude is an ugly form of selfishness. It's the opposite of gratitude and is something that you should never tolerate from yourself or from others. 13 things you should never tolerate in life, 8 through 13. And the final one, number 13, living without fun. Have fun in life. We are living out of balance if our life is all work and no fun. To live well is to live fully. Let me say it again. To live well is to live fully, not just in the body, but also in spirit. And that includes having fun. Living in the spirit includes having fun. Everyone has their own idea of what it means to have fun. My idea of fun might be different than yours, but if you're talking about fun, it all involves amusement and enjoyment. So if your idea of having fun is getting drunk and passing out, that's really not fun. Fun has to be amusement and enjoyment, not being blacked out. Because you can be blacked out and they can be going in your pockets. Right. You can be blacked out and they can be knocking you upside your head. So we're talking about fun, real fun. Everyone has their own idea of what it means to have fun, but it all involves amusement and enjoyment and doing things that have no purpose except to bring pleasure. So something that you do, it has no purpose other than to bring pleasure. Why would somebody jump out of an airplane with a parachute? What's the purpose? Fun for them. It might not be fun to you, but for that person, that's exciting. That's living. Parasailing. But there's a lot of people find peace boating. you know, fishing. Because there's some people who go fishing not even really to catch fish. They catch them. You don't watch them fishing shows when they catch all them doggone big fish, beautiful looking fish, and they throw it right back in the water? I'm like, man, I would have loved to eat that fish. Like, are you serious? Man, I ought to put some lemon on that, man. Some pepper. They throw it right back in the water. So they doing it, it's not even, you know, it's just to have fun, man. It ain't even to collect fish or to feed themselves or feed anybody else. So you got to start having fun in life, man. Unfortunately, we don't always have time for this kind of leisure activity, but we need it at least once in a while for peace of mind and good health. And that's the thing is, you got to have fun in life too. Have fun. Don't live without fun. Living without fun, that's one of the things you don't want to tolerate. 13 things you should never tolerate in life: negativity, boredom, living life without integrity, gossip, ingratitude, and like I said, the last one, living without fun. Any questions, concerns, or comments before I cut y'all loose?
Every Sunday, I ride over the jetty.
Mm-hmm.
And I buy it.
To the jetty?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, but I usually.
And it's beautiful out there in the jetty if y'all seen it.
Yeah.
I know y'all seen it,
I
right?
go early in the morning when the sun coming up.
Yeah, you get to look at the sun come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You ain't really living unless you been out by that water and watched that sun come up one morning, man. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful sight. Peaceful, calming sight. Yeah, man. Good. Where did you do? Anybody? Any other questions, concerns, or comments, y'all?